Alright, working on the Yoda again. Finally got my front emblem in from the bumper grill video. And today, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, probably in one of the other videos, but here's a tilt steering column from a 4Runner. The 4Runner I grabbed the center console out of. Not the center console I'm using, but the center console I was going to use, but then decided to go ahead and spend the outrageous amount of money that they want online for the proper truck console that's double deck and stuff, and and then I got the shifter boot. And anyway, here's the column. Overnight parts from Japan, but not really overnight. About 2 weeks straight from Japan. This is a cylinder lock set for the 89 to 95 pickup trucks, you know, the 5th gen Toyota pickup trucks. It might fit other models, I don't know, but I know it's for the 5th gen pickups, 89 to 95, and I think the 90 to the 2nd gen 4Runners, 90 to 95 4Runners. This is a full 5-lock set with 3 keys. It comes with your ignition, which I already replaced. Comes with your fuel door, which I already replaced, and the 2 doors. I don't know if I'll get to the doors today, but I've been running with 3 keys, so that's fine. But anyway, now time to put this in. Gotta drop this piece, which I know for a fact there's a bolt there, screw there, there's another screw up here, there's another screw there. Alright, got this removed. If your hood cable's not broken, you can take these 2 screws off here, and you can think this pushes forward then pushes out, and you can take your, I don't know, maybe just pull straight back, but so you can pull your whole assembly so you don't got to fiddle with this. I have a new hood cable that I bought, but I just realized after I put all the grill and bumper and stuff on, you got to take the grill off to route the cable, so I'll just keep on doing what I do now, which is just pull it. Anyway, once you get that off, there's this piece here, which is 2 10mm, 3 10mm, one there, one back here, one right there, and it goes like this. So one here, here, and then one on the other side. You also have to pull this piece off, which is over your key, so just pull it straight out. I really need to replace this. I have a new one, but one of the tabs on the new one, though, I do have to. This tab right here, I got a plastic weld back on. Everything else is fine, and it's got the piece on top, but I'll replace that later. And once you do that, there is this HVAC vent tube. It looks like it connects here. It looks like you can just pull it down and then pull it out. I gotta do a little bit more investigating on that. Here's your connector for your column. There's it there and there. Just pull that straight back. It's got 2 different tabs. Right here, I think those are the nuts. Yep, here, and on the other side, there's nuts. And then down under this, there's bolts back there. And then you have your coupler is down here. You also have to disconnect this connector right here for your key, for all your lock cylinder stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect all that and get the column out. There's the 2 columns side by side. If you line everything up, everything fits right. This is going to be the correct length. I went ahead and took this off because it was hidden. Put it on a flat disc and ground that down a little bit so it's not hitting here anymore. This is not on my original. I don't know what this could be for. The only thing I can think of is the tilt steering column. The vehicles with a tilt steering column, 4Runner anyway, there is a little light down here that points towards the key. I don't know if this has something to do with that. All I do know is that I don't have this on mine. I also don't have the light because when I went to the junkyard, this was all that was left. So I do have a tilt column cover. It's not blue because they don't make blue in aftermarket like this one is. So I got a black one, which is actually a brown one, but it's painted black. Anyway, it's for tilt column. I do have that, so I will be bringing that out here. But I do need to take this column apart, take the steering wheel off of it, basically take everything off of it except the key lock cylinder. Alright, you got the column covers off, which there's 4 bolts holding the column cover, at least the upper one to the lower one, and then there's 3 holes holding the lower one to here. 1, 2, 3, and then there's the other ones that go through. Here's all the screws. I was missing one in mine, one of the main ones. So these are all the screws that I got from the junkyard that were either down in the floorboard, from the column, or seat screws, or center console screws. I went ahead and got everything. So, got this right here. Doesn't look like this one. Mine is different slightly. So I'm guessing this one goes here, and that just folds over besides having this clip. Yep, because that's different. Looks like this is the same. So yeah, that's the same. There's 2 screws here I went ahead and took out. Then, once you take those 2 screws out, you pop this up. This just clips in, and then you take it out of here. And then this stays because you just put it in there and fold it over. In the front, there should be... There should be 4 screws, there, 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 and there. You can't see because it's dark, but that holds in the multi-function switch. And then you just swap everything over. Just take that, swap everything over, put it onto here. Alright, there's that off. And this is what a standard column looks like, just straight, nothing fancy. And here's this one, and it just will bolt straight on. The only difference is that on a 4Runner, or something that has the clock spring, I think the clock spring bolts to this. It looks like there's holes where you could, right here, 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 and here, where the clock spring might go, and then you can thread it on there. And you can thread the clock spring on. I don't know. Like I said, the column was already completely taken apart, so I don't know how the clock spring would work. But there's no way to, you'd have to get a bunch of stuff to add you'd have to get a bunch of stuff to add the cruise control to this truck. Anyway, I'm going to go and put this on. And then this wire goes in here, and that clips over, that clips onto there, and then that bolts onto there like that. Alright, here it all is. Got those all screwed in. There's like alignment tabs that poke in and line up. Which that makes me, there's alignment tabs, like one in each corner, that stick out. They're like pins. There's a pin here and a pin here that line up, and then you push the bolts down, or then you screw the screws in. So that makes me think that if you have a clock spring, it actually goes here and it lines up on that tab and that tab like this does, and then you got screw, 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 screw. But here is my column covers, which are brown, but they're painted black. I would love to get blue ones, but they just don't reproduce the blue tilt columns. They do for the standard columns, but not for the tilt column. There's that little alignment tab there, and there, and it lines up down here with there, and there, and yeah. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and tighten all this down, tighten the lower column to the main column, and then I'm going to take the upper one and try to do all that. I'm going to try to do the column cover while it's out here. And here's that little light that I was telling you about. It comes with a new lens, but the light bolts in right there, and it has a wire that goes off and clips there. And there it is. Got the 3 main bolts holding it, and then got the other screws that came with it, put the clamshell on, put the clamshell together, and this seems to fit a lot better than this one did. This one, I had to hold my tongue just right and do a bunch of other stuff to get it to fit right when I first got it. when I put it back together, just to, you know, so I don't lose screws and stuff, it fit pretty decent. But this one went straight together in the first place. These screws are a hell of a lot easier. These screws are bigger, and the pillars are bigger. The screws for those are a lot skinnier, and they were pretty difficult to try to screw in the car. These looks like they'd be easy to screw in the truck. But yeah, got all that done, got it all mounted. Not going to put the steering wheel on yet because I want to get all this in, get that lined up, and you know, make sure the steering wheel is straight when I tighten everything down. I'm going to lube up this slide right here and get the column slid on. It slides on right there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Ooh, there's a flat spot on that. So yeah, I'm going to have to unlock the wheel and line up that flat spot. But yeah, so I will be back. Alright, got the column in. And don't forget, right here in the back of the column, it actually, there's a slot right here that kind of juts out that the column goes into. I forgot to do that the first time. And the pot metal plate right here, broke. Luckily, you could just, they slide on and off. They got these like little wax pads or something, so it doesn't just slide off and off easy. You gotta kind of put a screwdriver there and pop it off, and then the new one you gotta kind of put it on and kind of tap it on. But be careful when you're doing that. I was trying to hold it with one hand and take the screw out and bolt out and flipping and flopping it all different ways, but I finally got it. But then it just broke off. But in order to get the column on, I went ahead and took this U-joint out off the column and slid it onto here first. And then now I can go up and slide it into the column itself and then tighten both of them down. But yeah, I had to do that because it was not cooperating. I could not get it to slide in with all this weight on. So I'm going to go ahead and slip this on, tighten that up. I already plugged that in. I plugged that in. And then I'm going to get that little brace, that metal brace down there on. And then I'm going to put the steering wheel on. But already, the column comes out like right here. The column comes out like right there. So you don't get a bunch of raise, but you get just enough raise. Get just enough raise out of it that you know, getting in and out will be easier, especially with these seats because they sit higher. I can pull the steering wheel up, but then I can push the steering wheel down when I drive, but not too far down because, again, the seat's high, so it kind of wants to, my knee my knee doesn't really hit the bottom of the wheel. It's the e-brake that my knee will hit sometimes, but that doesn't matter. Alright, got the duct back in, got the metal shield back in, and got all that tight down there. Got the steering wheel on. I hope it's straight. If not, I can straighten it out. It's not that big deal. And yeah, everything's working fine. The horn's working. All this other stuff's working, which is fine. There shouldn't be anything else. And there's the steering wheel tilted. And there's the steering wheel straight when you're on it. And when you're directly on it, again, this is not going to be indicative. This is not going to be indicative of a, you know, a factory bench seat or bucket seat factory. But there's it all the way down. There's it all the way up. That is definitely quite a bit higher. So I'm going to go ahead and get all this stuff back together. I'm going to get all this stuff down here back together. But you don't need to see that. It's literally just putting the panel back on, which isn't too difficult. I need to fix my dash piece so I can put that back on. Plus, I got some LEDs for the gauge cluster and the HVAC that I kind of want to put in. But that'll have to happen another day. And I will talk to y'all later.